Okay, my name is Martin Figueroa, and I'm working on the art cart with my partner.
Yeah.
Okay. Do community work in the Mission Hill area, where we will have several stops with different activities in each stop, and the purpose is to get the community to interact with the art cart.
Yeah, well, the cart is going to carry materials. We're pushing it around to 6 or 7 different spots, and hopefully people will be engaging in our art making.
This is all on one day. When does this happen?
Yeah, 12 to 4, May 8th.
No, it's not. Why would it?
I don't know.
Oh, with the pencil you just gave me. Oh, cool. Yeah, she texted me and she's like, in one sentence, describe the experience with the community center. I was like,
general, so kind of fun. This is some found material.
there's
That's a map. Over here are the initial rough drafts of the project proposals. And here is a lot of the background note-taking and history.
I'm sorry.
All sorts of interesting stories there. And then geography, more.
Keith Parker, the library.
Yep. Yep.
They have our Keep the Parker Library thing up.
Yep, right down there.
Oh, good.
Which is now taken care of, apparently, so.
Yeah, that's good.
And then these are all book and internet-based research and also on-site research. And then in there are the final proposals that are going to be executed in the coming 2 weeks. Respond and somehow
What do you see? Oh.
like enrich or connect or illuminate something for the community.
Hey, my name is Phil Pham, and I'm in charge of the project Projecting History, which is a mission to bring awareness to the residences of Mission Hill about the historical past of the neighborhood. What I'll be doing is taking a projector and mounting it to my car and displaying some historical fun facts about the neighborhood. I will be projecting things that some people may have forgotten about or perhaps never knew before, such as there were 25 breweries distributed around Mission Hill before Prohibition. Other facts include disco queen Donna Summers actually used to live in Mission Hill. So my mission is to bring awareness to these fragments of history that were once forgotten or have been forgotten. So yeah, that's my project. So how I'll be dealing with the technical aspects and the surfaces of projecting something into the neighborhood. I have to be very careful. I have to make sure there's no obstructions such as telephone wires and trees, but at the same time I have to be very respectful of people's property. I want to make sure that I don't project in anyone's windows or houses. So I'll be projecting on brick walls where it's dark and it'll show light very easily, and on sidewalks, nothing too destructive or that might seem as a nuisance to people. So I have to think about also the location of the places I'm projecting. For instance, my projection of the historical fun fact of the breweries that were located in Mission Hill, I will project onto the brick wall of the actual brewery.
But no, you don't bring any white surface. You project on whatever.
Yes. Instead of projecting on a white surface, which is how usual projectors will be projected on, I'll be projecting on actual places in the neighborhood without white surfaces.
Thanks.
No problem.
My mom is here. You're gonna drive there.
Haircut right now. A little bit. I'm Emma Golke, and my project for this class has gone through a couple iterations. The first was Mission 3Q, but the final project is the 6Q project, and it is an investigation of how people moving in and out of the Mission Hill area by public transport, how they are perceiving their surroundings, and whether or not, it raises the question of whether or not that awareness can be heightened by interaction with other people. So the concept is for me to enter these spaces, these public outside spaces, where many people have gathered to wait. And I'm going to be wearing a box, and it'll have a slot in it, and it will have pages on one side and pencils on the other. And it will have questions on the front. And I will invite people to answer these very specific questions about where they are, why they're there, and what they're doing and thinking while they're in that location. And for a lot of people, those kinds of questions don't even enter their minds as they are waiting to go to and from somewhere. So questions like, where are you going and where are you coming from and why, can catch someone really off guard and make them more aware of their surroundings in a really valuable way. And I'd like to encourage further connection and further investigation of this amongst the Mission Hill residents, who are a pretty fragmented community at the moment. And so I'm going to then collect these answers, anonymous answers, and compile them into books that will be distributed at the bus stops themselves. So individuals' impressions and ideas about Mission Hill and ideas about moving in and out of the area and about the people that they spend the time with in that location. All of that will be recorded and available for other bus stop passengers as they wait. So hopefully that'll encourage people to interact with each other, to interact with their environment more, to become more aware of the place, why they're there, and what they're doing while they're there. So that's it.
Thank you.
All right, so this project is called Listening to Mission Hill. Done by myself, Pat O'Neill, and Holly Kelly. The idea for this project is basically having to do with seeing what's happening in Mission Hill a different way by listening. And let's see, there will be a box that is just made out of wood, and it has, we're going to be using walkie-talkies for this. We'll have one in one spot and another walkie-talkie inside the box, which you'll be listening to the three areas that we've chosen, which would be the church, Puddingstone Park, and the Diablo Glass School.
So you're going to have walkie-talkies at those three different locations all the time?
Yeah.
Or is the one person going to run from one site to another with the walkie-talkie?
Well, we're going to be doing this on May 12th in Brigham Circle. So it'll be happening for 2 hours from 4 to 6. And we'll have it running for that time. We'll have the walkie-talkies in the location, so it'll be live sound.
So you're going to hear all three locations at the same time?
There's going to be headphones that you can listen to different parts. Like, there's going to be 3 headphones, and you listen to different parts.
Oh, okay. So each headphone is connected to one walkie-talkie?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh. What do you think people are going to hear?
Well, we hope.
Traffic?
We hope that they hear these. We're gonna have the walkie-talkies placed in like distinct spots. So in the church, I don't know if you noticed, you go into the church if you've been in there. It's just like the way the church is set up with the high ceilings and stuff. It's just a really nice sounding place. So even the wind going by creates a nice sound from the church. So that'll be one thing. From the glass school, we hope to hear students interacting or people working.
You're going to be inside the school or on the street of the school?
It'll be inside of the school. and the park will pick up, you know, like sounds, other sounds like from outside. Could be fire trucks and stuff like that.
We want people to start thinking about like not just what they're seeing, but what they're hearing as well. At Mission Hill.
And when are you doing this again?
May 12th.
What day is that?
That is a Wednesday.
Wednesday. And there's no mass or anything at the church on May 12th between 4 and 6?
There may be, which will be even better for us.
About the project? Okay. Well, my name is Peter Kazantsev, and my project is focused around bringing the local history of apples back into the community. And as it turns out, Mission Hill was once a vast apple orchard. So my plan is to inform the public of that using a sample stand, a free sample stand that you would find at your local grocery store. And basically the idea is that you come up and you try the apples, and hopefully the information on the napkins catches your eye, and you grab the napkin and you get a little bite of history, I guess. And yeah, so hopefully it'll.
What's happening here?
This is Amelia's project, actually.
Oh, it's a different project.
Oh yeah, it is.
Oh, okay. So you would you providing maps to tell people where this apple used to grow? Or is there any
Oh no, it's actually it's interesting because most of the apples that are found in Mission Hill are direct descendants from the original orchard. So really, whenever you see an apple tree on the hill, it's kind of like you're seeing a little piece of history. It actually turns out that the Roxbury russet, the apple that was the icon for this neighborhood, was the first apple to be cultivated in the United States that was domesticated. So that's kind of interesting, and that's on the napkins. So hopefully people will find out. Also, I'm endorsing farmers markets, which there's plenty of around the neighborhood, and yeah. So I just think that's a great cause and all that. So.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, my name is Amelia Young, and my project is centered around 40 Terrace Street, which is essentially an abandoned lot on Terrace Street. It's about a block away from Tremont. It's owned by the city of Boston, but pretty much all that's there are weeds and waste. And the thing is, the city of Boston obviously doesn't have plans for it at the moment, and hasn't been using it for several years. But I feel like since the city of Boston isn't the one living with this in their environment, isn't the one who actually needs the space apparently, wouldn't it be better to hear what the residents of the neighborhood had to say? So that's what my project is based around. I'm going to be setting up an installation on the site itself. It's a drop box, a locking mailbox, and these are flyers and pencils. They ask passersby what they think the lot should become, and the participants are invited to write or draw what they think, and then drop it in. And yeah. Huh? Yeah. I really don't know what people are going to say. I mean, I have ideas of what they might say, but...
Well, do you have a consensus of what people might say? I mean, when I see those abandoned lots, I feel really bad, too. Like, yeah. What is this doing?
Yeah. And that's kind of what I'm expecting, but... I'm thinking that the final part of my project is actually going to be a compilation of all of the responses. I'm going to collect them every day and then scan them into the computer and probably work something with Photoshop or maybe an installation piece for a gallery, but that'll really depend on what their responses are. And hopefully I can get the word out a little further once the installation is done by spreading the pieces that are received. And I also have a website for the project. It's called 40terrace.blogspot.com, and it explains for people who maybe don't know what the project is. 40terrace.blogspot.com.
Okay, I'm Megan Robbins, and I'm working with the Parker Hill Library. I first found out about it when I was working at the Tobin Community Center, and they had me sign the petition that that it might be closing, and so my project's changed a lot since the beginning. It started with like a Save the Library campaign, and then it changed once I figured out that it was staying open to making bookmarks to raise awareness and keep people aware and active about having a public library in their neighborhood.
What are some of the obstacles that people have run in? Why are they targeting this library?
I know the circulation is low, and it's a smaller branch, so.
Okay, now the circulation is low. However, there's more activity going on in this library. Would you say that?
Yeah, there's a lot of programs for kids with like the homework assistance and different programs there that they have.
So what are you trying to do at the end of your project? What would you hope that would happen?
I really want to keep people active in how important the library is in their community, and I really want people to like reflect on their experience with the public library and just always remember in case that they ever had to close them again, so that people would already be active and going to the library more so that it could stay open.
Well, when they say the circulation is low, that means they take fewer books out.
Yeah.
But wouldn't you say that more people are actually in that library, in that particular branch?
Definitely.
So they do a lot of work in the branch.
Yeah, a lot of work in the branch, using computers and all the different books and programs that they have there.
Thank you. I know, it's a great place.
So, I mean, it's funny because, like, you really just kind of the doors open and right. 5 minutes.
Sure. I did. One of them might come to 6. All the grad students are installing the thesis shows right now, so they're just crazy. Yeah.
You're Fiona?
Yes.
Okay. And your partner?
Savannah.
So can you tell me about your project?
We started out by, we were really interested in these abandoned lots that we found throughout Mission Hill and the objects that we found in them, and sort of the contradiction that existed between these lots, like not having any use and then there being a lack of housing and a lack of space.
So we decided to somehow bring awareness to these lots and the idea that they are abandoned, and over the process we decided that we would create sculptural words, and these words would represent the lots as a whole. So over time we decided that we would create words that really represented each lot, and through the process we found a few objects, trash and things that said the word natural on it.
And so we thought that was a fitting word for all of them, basically.
As a contradiction, because everything, the trash, the objects, I mean, as you can see here, all of this was found in the lot, and none of it really belongs, you know, in a pile of grass. So we decided that this was unnatural, and by creating the word natural, it would more so bring awareness to the fact that...
So you found these where, for example, these broken chairs?
They were, yeah, they all came from the lots that we chose.
Oh, you found particular lots?
Yes.
You chose lots?
Yes.
What lots are they marked on the maps?
On our proposal, we have photos of them,
so
yeah.
Show later.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The lot that's actually right out front with the stairs was one that really stood out to us, because there's just a stairway that leads to nowhere, and
That's so striking. Like,
right.
What does that serve? What purpose does that serve?
So the lots really were found sort of by chance, by us walking and kind of exploring and experimenting and seeing what stuck out to us, and we found some really cool stuff.
Yeah. Are there images here too?
Yes. Well, the proposals are in here.
Well, for example, this is the lot with the stairway.
That's right outside the gallery space, up the street.
We created the word natural.
Remember that.
And then here are some other lots. So the word would be recognized when either someone who lives in the area or students or whatever are just walking by and they read this word that really doesn't belong there. It's similar to the fact that the trash doesn't belong there, the objects don't belong there. It could be used for something else.
And hopefully we get the viewer thinking about those things and questioning why this is here.
The last statement of the
So this was just an artist that truly inspired us. He created words.
Stefan Sagmeister, he's a graphic designer. And also Andy Goldsworthy, who incorporates nature very much so in his art.
So have you already installed?
Not yet. We're working on building the words.
Yeah. Okay.
Hopefully this week we'll be installing.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Wonderful. Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Holly Kelly, and at the beginning of the semester we were asked to research about Mission Hill, find out its stories, find out good locations, and just to see what we could figure out about the history. So I created a book about the history, and this is a page about my first impressions, what I first saw at Mission Hill, all the stories that I heard. And then as I started to really look into the history, and I was just looking at all the different people that were living here and all the cool places, the Pudding Stone Rock. It was just really amazing to me because it's only found in this area. It's just so cool. And I just read about all the different, the Tobin Community Center and just all the great programs that they have here for the youth, and how it's such a great artist community here now as well, and all the students, and just great. It was good to research about Mission Hill.
When I worked on taking these stairs apart here, I found layers of German newspapers.
Really?
100 years ago.
So cool.
Remember all these breweries that were here? Apparently, most of them German breweries. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, some of
I come from a beer brewing community, Bavaria, in Germany.
Yeah.
I come from a beer drinking place.
Sean McGann.
And your project is neighborhood related, right?
Yep, it's site responsive.
Site responsive.
It's called The Lost and Found.
And what happens there?
Well, what I'm trying to do is I'm looking for the longtime residents of the Mission Hill area. Due to the history since the 70s, 80s, most of the people who were part of the baby boomer era had moved on to, elsewhere, Somerville, other parts of Boston. So I'm looking for the select few that still remain, who have seen the changes, the tensions, who have been basically part of the mortar and the bricks that surround this whole area, So I'll be taking a picture of portraits, and I'll be posting them on telephone poles like any other kind of lost cat or lost dog. I think people will be curious to see people in their own neighborhood who are on there, and even people will probably be eager to actually have their picture taken. So it's giving a face to the community that most people can actually look into the eyes of the community itself, in a way.
So you're trying to take pictures of people that aren't living here anymore? No.
People who are living here, people who grew up here. I mean, there's no age limit. There are kids who lived up here, grew up here, and they have just a genuine experience as someone who's moved here when they're in their 20s, 30s, and have lived here for 30 years or so. So I feel it'd be really interesting just to see the different types of people who live here and part of the community, due to the diverse nature of the community itself.
And how do you post these pictures again?
Oh, I'm gonna be stapling them to the telephone poles. Be doing black and white, scanning them onto sheets of just white paper, and I think it'll just be interesting.
Yep. Okay.
All right.
And we got out of Paris just before they closed the airport, so the train stations were crazy. Because we took the train across.
Yeah, everything after
So
that was
it was
crazy.
like all our timing was like just right. It was crazy.
So you've been through.
I've seen this part, but I didn't know where else was really open or. One likes to be fast.
I'm going to be here to make sure you clean it all up and fill all the tack holes. These are my folly from the late 60s.
Okay, like a
Oh yeah, because I do have like that kind of down. Like, this just isn't my scene.
And we'll have our schedule
From the art center to northeast, which is like the outskirt of Boston. It's very important.
and then
45 minutes.
Just like with the sort of permission blowing up the old.
I'm gonna offer a class again.
Before.
No.
Yeah. That's what you're tough on.
So we'd be perfectly happy to have chain link and razor wire.
I don't.